Hey, what's up guys? So this is Marquito and today I'm gonna review Valkyrie, the warrior from the Alliance faction. So she is one of the most common heroes. Almost everyone has her. She has been featured in Keys event multiple times and she's one of the best heroes in the game. She's basically essential to every team. And let's go to her skills. So the first one, so her active skill. She deals 220% attack to damage to all enemies. This damage 6% attack to the targets for 5 rounds. Reduce target's attack for 20%, that's really big. And reduces target's crit rate for 20%, and the skill will not miss. So basically, she does a lot of damage and debuffs the enemy attack in 2 ways. And then increase HP, defense, and attack, just basic stuff. Basic attack will do 50% attack and drain skill damage from the enemy, which is good, but it is not a major thing. And finally, whenever a hero dies, if it's an ally or if it's an enemy, she will heal the enemy with the least amount of HP for 300% attack, and that's a lot. For example, mine has 35,000 attack, so she will heal an ally of mine for a little over 100,000 HP. Increases self speed by 10 and increases the skill damage for 40%. So that's something that really helps her on midterms fight as well, for like a little bit longer fights on 5 to 7 rounds. If she survives and some of the enemy heroes die or some of the allies die, she will heal a lot. Usually when like most of the heroes dies, she heals for over 1,000,000, and that's a lot. And she increases her skill damage. So if she casts later on the fights, she will do massive damage. And now to equipment. You could run her as a full support or as a damage dealer. And in the meta we're in right now, for most people it's better to run her as a support, which also does a lot of damage. And for that you need a speed rune and a energy artifact. You could use Tear of the Goddess or you could use Star Shards. Obviously, Tears of the Goddess is the best artifact in the game, so it's a better option to use, but Star Shards is also completely fine. Now to her talents. So, as for her third talent, she will use, as for her first talent, she will lose attack just to increase her damage and to increase her healing. She doesn't need HP, she has a lot of HP already, and she doesn't need this extra 30 speed. She does use speed rune, she does use speed here, that's we're gonna be talking, but she doesn't need this. The only reason you want to be running on the first talent speed on her too is to like be faster than an enemy's code and then decrease their healing, but it's not very effective to do that. Speed decreases her healing or her attack, so it's better to just go with attack. This one, we know that damage reduction is better for every hero, no matter what happens, no matter your team, your heroes, just damage reduction, just go for it. And this one, if you're using the support version of her that most people are running right now, you used to want this third talent. So increase her speed by 70 for the first 3 rounds. So with that, she can fire first really early on the fight and decrease the enemy attack by a lot. And that's the main point of using her as a support. Otherwise, you could run this. So when she gets below 35% HP, she doesn't receive damage until the end of that round, which makes her sturdy, but it also doesn't help that much because she already has almost 1.5 million HP, and she's not the first one to die. So the speed rune, the speed third talent, or you could be running attack rune, just attack. This one with damage artifacts like Ragnarok. I don't have one spare, so Ragnarok. And this will be the third talent to use on a damage dealer Valkyrie. But that's not the matter right now. Not most people use the speed version of her with the energy. That's how it works best. But if you don't already have the meta team, or you don't have a full T4 team, you're midway into the game, just crawling into the end game, you might want to use attack rune and the damage dealer artifact. It's fine. But on end game fights, you really want to speed on her. And she also has a skin, this one. This is how she looks like normally, and this is her with the skin. But the skin doesn't change much, does basic stuff, attack, HP, and defense. Helps, but it's not a major thing. And now to her role in a fight. So she is a warrior, but she's not a tank. For Christ, I've seen people use her as a tank. She's not a tank. I'm gonna be using Xeno because I like to fight his team. So Valkyrie could be used. She's not a tank. She could be used on the second position. Actually, she could be used anywhere on the team, but it's better to use her on the second position because if you're fighting an enemy as a Thoth, she could be exiled if she stays here. And also, in the case your Phoenix dies, that's pretty much your fight is already over. But then, since Valkyrie has like 1.5 million HP, she could tank for a little while. Better than Scode or better than anything else. And she also has those passive defense buffs. So she's up to 25 defense with the skin. So that's a lot of damage reduction from defense as well. So this is the team I like to run. And together with her, this team I could use Lorelei. I'm gonna be using Vedvisir. Vedvisir comes their combo with Valkyrie really well because Valkyrie reduces the enemy crit rate and Vedvisir as well. So when you're fighting a team like that, the enemy has their crit rate reduced by a lot. So here, first the supports fires and then Valkyrie fires. So at the start, the enemy already has 20% less attack from that. So everyone on this fight, on the enemy team, has already less attack than my team. And the fight, Kurt did his thing, but let's fight again. So Xenon also uses Valkyrie with energy, but he doesn't use speed. So my team already inflicted a lot of damage to his team without getting the attack debuff. So I did a lot more damage to him than he did to me. If you could see, also all my team is full HP. And his team was half HP before Kurt fires, of course. But having the debuff of Valkyrie really early on the fight, it's essential to not get burst down, like in the first 2 rounds. So that's really important on the meta right now, to have Valkyrie fire really early, and then as the fight goes on, the enemy people will be dying, the enemy team will die, your team may lose some heroes, and then she will grow. She will increase her speed by a lot, She will get 10 speed for each hero that dies. She will heal a little over 100,000 for each hero that dies, and she will deal more damage. Of course, Kurt doing his thing, but as you can see, she healed for almost 1,000,000 and none of my heroes died. It was all from his 6 heroes dying. So, as the fight goes on, if my Kurt didn't burst him down, Valkyrie would have healed more and would have done a lot more damage. So she's a good backup on the burst team. If Kurt doesn't do his thing on the first rounds, Valkyrie will do hers on long game fights, on long-term fights. And also for if you're fighting not a meta team, a little bit weaker team, let's grab Shadow. Let's say not this team, something more like normal team. This is more like a normal team. Everyone has these heroes. Yeah, the old Unity. Everyone had these heroes. And since his Valkyrie doesn't have energy, mine already fired, and his team is doomed because he lacks damage, he lacks heals, and there's nothing he can do. And since he doesn't have speed or energy, his Valkyrie is just firing right now. After like 2 rounds, his Valkyrie is firing. And that's already like really late. His heroes are really low. The reviver is already taken. I'm gonna lose this, no. Yeah, so the longer the fight goes, Valkyrie do more damage and heal more. So she is completely essential for any team on the game. Maybe on the end game you may want to switch her for something else, but for 99% of the people, Valkyrie is an essential hero. And I guess this is it. This is how I like to run her. I'm already building a second Valkyrie. I just need a couple more copies because of honor. I want every honor team of mine to have Valkyrie because she's just way too good. So this is how I like to run her. Reminder, speed, energy, attack, defense, reduction, speed again. If you have the skin, great. And I guess that's all for today. Thanks for watching and good beginning of year.